Let's go! And welcome into the Ride the Wave show. My name is Clay. I'll be your host today. This is Tony to my right here. I know you guys are normally used to seeing Adam here. He is actually out. I think he's solving world hunger last time I heard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll be having him calling in later, letting us know how the solving world hunger went. You probably heard me cheering before. That's because the Browns are up on the Bengals. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I did count. 13-3. We got a 10-point lead here, fellas. Go Browns! Tony, you're an Eagles guy. Your game's coming up before. How are you feeling about that game?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I still don't think this game one is going to mean too much when you're playing the Patriots week one. They actually have more seasoned players with Andre Stevenson coming back, Mac Jones coming in for his second and third year. But you know, we've had two new coordinators and things. We're going to have some kinks to work out. I'm not worried about it long term, but this might be a weird game one.
Yeah. You guys are getting picked a lot to go to the Super Bowl. And I've never had that because I'm a Browns fan. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when your team's getting picked a lot to do something like that, as a fan, it makes me worried. Because then so many more people are kind of...
I just like underdog mentality. So when other people are picking, I'm like, stop liking my team.
Yeah, it's my team. You're not allowed to like them.
I think it just also speaks to how bad the NFC is.
Yeah.
So it's not just that the Eagles, like, a lot of people believe in them. I think it's just out of all of those, when you really look at it, not a lot of teams, technically 3 can come out of the NFC East. I doubt that happens. But those are where a lot of the best teams in the NFC are, with Aaron Rodgers leaving, Russell Wilson leaving. A lot of the QB talent's gone now.
I think with the AFC North, maybe not Pittsburgh so much this year, kind of still seeing what they're like. But if you take Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore, and you put them in any other division other than the division that the Chiefs are in, they're probably finishing first place.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Vikings division as well. That one's obviously nothing to write home about.
Yeah. But thank you so much for taking some time out of your Sunday to tune in and listen to us talk to you. We have the game on over here. Not going to lie to you. We are football snobs, so we're not going to go the whole show without looking at football either. So if you hear me yelling, that's why. We had some good weekends. I actually got to go out and talk to the Paint Valley Middle School on Friday, give them a little bit of speech, talk to them about mental health, which I think is a huge thing we all believe in here. If you're one of the people that feel like you need to go reach out, talk to somebody, please make sure that you do that. There's so many resources out there for you. Be a friend, call a friend, make sure you're checking on your buddies and everything like that. Mental health is super big. But had a great day on that Friday. Then we get to go call the thrilling Zane Trace Adina game, man. I mean, that game was I had a lot of people around the league text me like, yo, what was going on out there at Zane Trace Friday night? Super close game there. Tony, how was your first Zane Trace experience Friday? I know I kind of had to make you hide under the table a few times. But
yeah, I'm telling you, it was a blast. Everybody was so nice. Like, I really loved the environment. Again, Clay, being a great unbiased announcer, when Adina was getting these big plays, was just as hype as he was for any other team. So as the Zane Trace fans are dead quiet, you hear Clay coming across. The Rally Ward is in 60 yards. And these people are literally, all right, man. Yeah,
Tony is hiding under the table.
Fetal position, literally looking at the fans saying, I don't even know him, I promise.
He looked like he was in the middle of a war zone. That's what he was hiding from. I was about to say, I'm going to send our MVD here a couple of pics, see if he can pull it up online for you guys to take a look at. But, yeah, again, as he said, try not to be biased towards one team with the SVC coming in and everything like that. So,
but it really speaks to what happened that night, though, is that Zane Trace might have been leading almost the entire game, but Adina had the more electric and big plays. Not that he didn't have a lot of good plays for Zane Trace as well, and Gunnar McStunner showing out. But Adina, man, it just seemed like they were really cool plays, or just kind of plays that developed or were run well.
And that's nothing against Adina. It's not like, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. But it's like Adina got almost all their points, like you said, off big plays. They couldn't really string a whole drive together, just more off of big play here, big play there. And then Zane Trace could like string some drives together. And that's kind of what the difference was. But the big difference was that Zane Trace was able to come up with some big plays himself. The blocked field goal, the punt return for a touchdown.
Blake Phillips being that cheat code, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every time they were around, within that 7-yard line range, it was just automatic touchdown.
Exactly. And speaking of Blake Phillips, we're going to have some big guests coming on today. Coach Combs, you guys might know him as Shane Combs, but Coach Combs will be coming on. And he'll be giving us some updates, not just for the football, for all sports around SVC. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I can see the picture of Tony on our screen here at the bottom right, looking like this is Tony as I'm calling these
Wait,
plays.
that's me?
Yes. That is you on bunker mentality as I'm calling these plays, being terrified that the Zane Trace faithful will be turning around and giving us a piece of their mind.
That picture was taken by Carter, wasn't it? Carter Langley was up there snapping photos of me in my worst moments.
But huge shout out to Zane Trace. Actually, also a huge shout out to Zane Trace and Adina for giving us a great game. Again, that's a game that we'll kind of talk about a little bit more as we go. But we had a great, fun weekend here. It's about to be a great weekend. Ended up for me whenever these Browns beat these Bengals.
Speaking of Browns, you don't have the picture of where I pooped my pants, did you?
I do have that picture,
You
but
didn't send him that
I
one.
wasn't going to bring it up.
Okay,
but
cool. Go Browns!
It's good. Also, we got, as Pat McAfee would like to call it, a little up to something season here, Tony. We got some big things in the works. Hopefully here in the next month, we'll be able to let you guys kind of know. That should be all finalized, good to go. So stay in tune for that. We got some big things coming here out of the Ride the Wave show. And then, like I said, our guest today with Combs and Phillips should be an exciting show today, Tony.
It was a great post-game interview with Blake as well. I can't wait to shake it down with him. I really want to talk outside of football stuff too. I really want to he seemed like a really cool kid. So I'd like to see what he's got outside the lines.
Yeah, exactly. And, he's a really nice, humble kid. I pretty much every single Saturday, like we ask for everybody for their stats, we'll kind of send it over and we'll make a little bit of small talk. Seems like a really great kid. Big shout out to the Zane Trace facilities out there too, man. That field is beautiful.
It was perfect.
It was. So let's kind of get into some games here. So Yoder beat Westfall 48-26. But at the end of the first half, first quarter, it was a 12-0 score going Westfall's way. I was talking to Hoops afterwards, and he said we thought we were on an upset alert there. I mean, in full swing. So Westfall needs to be put on notice here for everybody. They got Bryce Wickline there at the quarterback. They have multiple weapons. Wide receiver.
I just picked up Gall last week. He's an absolute weapon.
Cade Hall, he got him out there. I know we're going to be missing some of you guys out there at Westfall. But they have some weapons out there that I think we kind of said in the beginning of the season as well.
Trent Walters, that's it.
Trent Walters, thank you. And Jade Towler, he's coming up with a big touchdown reception. Trent Walters goes off for 3 touchdown catches against Unioda. Caden Cutright, he's the big wide receiver out of there. He had 6 for 79 and 2 touchdowns. One of them was an 85-yard INT. With a touchdown. Hoops goes 13 for 22, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 rushes for 29 and a touchdown. Adam must be doing a good job with the word hunger because he's frantically texting me Joey Wright. I think he picked him up. Yeah.
So it was the beginning of the year, and he put in for him and got him before I did as well, and he's a great player. And I was looking at him, I was like, we were talking receivers and things, and I was going to say it, but nonetheless, good call, though. Joey Wright is an absolute stud. If you, some of the things we're working on might highlight Joey. He's got quite some good stats.
Yes, for sure. And then Paint Valley got a big win over Southeastern, 39-9. We've been kind of saying it here on the show, a sleeper team out there in Bainbridge, 3-1.
Real quick, I got to shout Ashton Crace. He's my guy. He's on my fantasy team. Didn't have a big receiving game on offense.
Had big receiving game on defense, though.
2 interceptions and a forced fumble. I'm loving every second of it.
Yes.
Give me a touchdown's worth of points from the defensive side of the ball.
That Uniota defense is a problem this year, for
It's
sure.
what the elder statesmen do. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
But Pay Valley getting a huge win over Southeastern, 39-9, getting them 3-1. Again, just a team to really be kind of looking out for this year. Obviously, I'm biased. I've graduated from there. If you want me to not be biased, then you should probably go watch another show that doesn't have a Pay Valley alum because it's hard for me not to cheer for the alma mater. But
from an unbiased opinion, though, you have to like it. When Coach was telling us before the season even started, they asked to have another day of practice each week. They had 53 guys out at tryouts. Like, they buy into the system and they like what's going on. So I'm not surprised at anything that's going on. So whether you want to be biased or not, there's something going on down in Pay Valley.
It's a Pay Valley culture, man. I mean, football is the number one religion in Bainbridge. I'm telling you. It's the number one religion out in Bainbridge. And, you know, I can sit here and tell you about it, but somebody else that knows just as much about that as I do is somebody that has contributed a lot of wins out there on the baseball diamond, contributes a lot to not just Pay Valley, but the SVC as a whole. He's our favorite analyst over here, the one and only Shane Combs.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Coach, how's it going? How's your Sunday?
Great. Thanks for having me. Always
Heck
look forward to coming on talking a little bit with you.
Yes, sir. And, Coach, I don't know who you're rooting for in this game, but the Browns are up 13-3, driving down the field. So kind of keep you updated on that one as we talk here for you.
Well, it's really cool to see what Joe Burrow's done with my brother all the time he spent at Vinton County. Had a chance to watch, Burrow play high school basketball and so forth. So that's always a neat thing for our area. You don't turn the Sunday games on very often and see the kid from Southeast Ohio. So that's obviously a cool story.
And kind of touching on Joe Burrow, I had the pleasure my freshman year. I played on an AAU basketball team with Joe Burrow. It was me, Nick Corcoran, Nick Overly, Wyatt Brewster, a bunch of those kids. It was Team Ohio, so they had 2 teams because I think you can only have 2 kids per school at that time on one AAU team. So I was on one team and Joe was on another, but we'd practice against each other. And I would have to guard him down the paint. In every practice, I would look at my dad. I'm like, that kid's going to the NBA. I was like, I thought 100% NBA was on. And then obviously see what he does in college. And he's doing the NFL now. It's like you said, it's awesome to see somebody from Southeast Ohio just showing out for us.
Yeah.
So, Coach, we kind of wanted to we were going over the Uniota game. We went over the Paint Valley game. What were your thoughts on the first week of SVC football?
Really intrigued by some of the parity. I think on paper, and you know how that goes. When you start looking at it on paper, I had a lot of people telling me in the week 4 here, week 1 of Cider Valley Conference play, that it was the top 4 versus bottom 4. And maybe that's fair, maybe it's not. I don't know. But I tell you, Westfall and Adena were 2 teams that jumped out at me in terms of their ability to score some points. And I think we realized that throughout the non-league play. But Westfall, I heard you guys do a great job of breaking that down. They played a really, really good football game the other night. That cut-right interception, that took a game that could have went anywhere from, 18-19 to 6. And flipped it to Uniota taking the lead. And then even then, Westfall got back to 21-20 in the second half. So, again, Uniota, really complete team. But Westfall proving against the opponent, they've made huge strides defensively from a year ago in terms of being able to compete a little bit. This offense started to show some of these signs last year, but defensively they were just in over their head. To be honest, this year they've taken some steps. So, again, good football team. We're talking about, our Bearcats there, Clay. I would certainly, as well as Paint Valley's defense has played, I'd certainly have my kids on alert this upcoming Friday night. Because this fall offense, if you come in sleepwalking, you're going to find yourself down 14-0 in a hurry. And then, Adena, the same way, Zane Trace. I was saying I wasn't going to panic too much. I thought they played an extremely tough schedule the first 3 weeks, but I'd be lying if I didn't say Adena's offensive output there in week 4 didn't catch my attention a little bit as well.
And we were kind of saying, Coach, one out at Adena, a lot of people could say, oh, it was a close game because obviously the backup quarterback comes in. Zane Trace did not miss a beat with that backup quarterback. We were kind of saying as we were calling the game, we were probably expecting more run out of him with Blake Phillips, just with the younger quarterback. But it looked the first play or two, I mean, it was a play-action bomb. I mean, I feel like they kind of leaned into maybe Adina was looking to stop the run, and then Zane Trace was like, we're expecting that going for a pass. But we've been kind of saying as well with Westfall, they might not win the league, obviously, but we think they'll have a say in who does just because they might be on upset alert every single week.
That's a fair point. Again, when you can score, it just you become so dangerous. When you have the ability in high school football to go out and score, I don't know, say 21 points. Well, it's going to take a long time to blow a team out scoring 21 points. So they're just there all night. So to your point, maybe they don't end up beating one of those teams, but like the other night, they push Uniota to a situation where maybe Uniota, and I'm just using this as an example, maybe Uniota wasn't able to go as deep as they wanted to. Maybe they weren't able to do some of the things they wanted to do and so forth. But yeah, I think Westfall and Adina certainly have proven that, and then give the top 4 teams credit because they did hold serve and got off to the 1-0 start.
It's kind of crazy, Coach, because like you said, on paper, looked like top 4 versus bottom 4, which again very well might be, but I was expecting after week 1 to have more answers than questions, and I feel like I have more questions than answers after the end of the first week here.
I think, honestly, you hit the nail on the head. You don't want to play Westfall or Adina. One, because they both have the capability to put up points, but speaking on the Westfall defense, when we had Bryce on really, really early, even before the season started, I believe, we're looking at the record from last year, and that defense was letting up a lot of points. And they're not doing that this year. And even, holding Uniota through that first quarter after a Waverly game that probably put a sour taste in their mouth. That was probably pretty difficult, too. That's a feat in itself.
Yeah.
And again, with Adina, at the drop of a dime, that was some of the most electric football plays that I've seen yet this year.
Yeah.
In Torelli Ward and some of the things that Dreisler was doing. But even jumping into Huntington and Southeastern, when you've got a two-headed monster over there in Southeastern, and Huntington still having, DJ Croker and Lee Rucker and guys like that, I mean, technically speaking, if you fall asleep on offense one night, those teams can still put up enough points to beat you. So, might be top 4, bottom 4, but I don't think anybody should sleep on any team this year.
For sure. And you're talking about the big plays, right, on Zane Trace and Adina. You have a blocked field goal that was not a PAT. It was for 3 points. That turns into a touchdown. That's a 10-point swing right there. That's already the ball game. And then you have Adina going for a field goal for a PAT, gets blocked, so then they go for 2 later. That's a 4-point or a 3-point swing because they don't get the 2-point conversion. Coach, I kind of wanted to bring you on this because we were kind of saying it all night Friday. Everybody looks at offense. Everybody's looking at defense. But when it comes to – nobody really looks at special teams. And special teams, especially for Adina and Zane Trace, that was really what won the game on Friday.
It's really amazing how that seems to be the case. I know when I was on earlier in the year with you guys, we were referencing the kicking game with the Uniota Benton County game, and you started to see that throughout the year. I've watched some of our area punters really flip the field in some key situations. Had a chance to see some really, really good games. The special teams and defense and the turnovers and some of these switches, like the cut right play that we were referencing that you guys were showing there on the screen, that I mean, that's anywhere from a 12 to 16 point swing depending on what the conversion situation is. That's an amazing play.
That's massive.
Yes.
Piketon, I know we're talking special teams, but Piketon, we talk so much about Wilson and Gaulion on the offensive side. Off the top of my head, it seems like maybe you fantasy guys will know, that it seems like their defense has scored 2 or 3 weeks already this year.
I jokingly said that I was going to take them with my first round pick the day of the fantasy draft, and I almost did. And I think if I did, I would have been warranted. I still got them later on. I think maybe the 4th or 5th round.
I traded for Zane Brownfield because if you score a touchdown on defense, it counts, and he was scoring a touchdown on defense like every week. That's kind of what you're saying there, Coach. We're talking about special teams, but that defense for Piketon, there could be nights where the offense goes out and scores 0 points, and they could still win 21-0 because that defense is so smothering that you have to play your best football every single down, because the minute that you slip up or you don't capitalize, they will capitalize on that, and it's 6 going the other way. And it happened first week. Zane Brownfield 50-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and I think this week, let me pull it up. I had it right.
I think
here
it was Blanton.
Yes,
I think it was Blanton at Piketon. Yeah.
But I had it here in my notes. Give me one second. Yeah, so this week they had 2 interceptions, with one being a pick 6. I mean, it's like every single week that Piketon defense is getting a turnover some way, somehow.
I really feel like Zane Brownfield is just a monster. You bring it up, but sometimes you really see people make a difference. But people talk about, and we got to speak to some of the players after their game, actually. And they just spoke on his, like I said, pad level. They were like, it's just so low. You can't get lower than him. So when he's coming through and he's sliding, it's just so violent, so quick, and he's like a little land shark. You know what I mean?
I literally just heard my wife screaming in the other room because I'm pretty sure the Browns just got a touchdown. And they did. Sorry, Coach. So I wanted to kind of pivot to next week here. Zane Trace at Piketon, Southeastern at Dina, Yoda at Huntington. I think this would be a good time to put this out there. That's what we'll be for our game of the week. We'll be out there on Wednesday to do our pregame show that will air 30 minutes before the live stream on Friday. And then we have Westfall at Paint Valley. That's Paint Valley's homecoming game. I think that's Huntington's homecoming game as well. Coach, for us, the reason we want to go out to that Yoda Huntington game is because we all know what happened last year. Kind of a controversial call at the end of the 2 years ago. My apologies. 2 years ago has that controversial ending towards the end with that blocked field goal. It kind of went one way or the other. No one could really tell from the video, so that we picked that game. What's some games going on next week, Coach, that you kind of have your eye on?
Well, I continue to watch how these teams develop week to week. A lot of again, on paper, a lot of the games that seem to be the head-to-head take place more in the back end of the schedule. I don't have it in front of me, but I know like Paint Valley's, Unioda Zane Trace games late, even the Piketon game, it's like week 7 maybe, and then you still got some games coming up. But I'm intrigued by, as I mentioned a second ago, that Paint Valley Westfall game. I do think the Unioda team continuing to, here's the thing with Unioda. I don't know if there's been a bigger breakout all-around star in the league than the Cutright kid so far this year.
I 100% agree with that,
forward.
Coach.
You highlighted Crace as well. That's outstanding, a call on your part. Even Dollison and Long and some of the things in their running game, they're becoming a really deep offense. We know so much about Free and Robertson and Wilson and Gallion and Wickline and all the way down, all the way through the list, the Zane Trace kids you highlight. But we're really starting to find some depth there on Unioda's offense, so that intrigues me a little bit.
David Long, who's a potential future quarterback, is leading the team in tackles. It's just I'm watching him throw before the game, a complete athlete. I'm not taking anything away from Newt. I'm just saying that's what's behind.
Yeah, it's kind of like Zane Trace with Gunna the Stunner. I mean, you have nothing to worry about whenever Carter graduates. And Coach, that's kind of what you were alluding to there. It seems like every single week there's somebody new on Unioda's offense that's not just like, oh, they had one catch for 10 yards. It's like multiple catches for either a touchdown or a big play to set up a touchdown. And like you said, the depth of Unioda's offense every single week keeps getting proven over and over and over again.
You can pretty much list 4 guys at running backs and 4 guys at wide receiver that can – honestly, catch or run a ball. I mean, all of them are doing just.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy because you got Ethan Summers out there, James Reinhart, Connor Dollison's been kind of taking the reins. It's crazy how much is out there.
And as a defense, it's like, who do I have to worry about next? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like I thought I had everything covered.
That was another thing with Adina. That kind of pistol formation with having that 3-headed running back and. That looked like it could get tricky if ran correctly.
It could be. Coach, kind of want to pivot here to the volleyball. Unioda, Adina, and Southeastern, it looks like 3-way tie at 3-1. Again, thanks to your SVC Sports Talk website. Go check it out. It's very informational. Unioda with 8-1, and that one loss just happened on Thursday against Southeastern. And it wasn't, dare I say, close. It was a clean sweep, Southeastern, 3-0. Chloe Wills, Jesse Higley, Morgan Ware, they all have a huge game. And then Zane Trace beats Piketon 3-0, with Adina beating Westfall 3-0. Coach, we're kind of following the league as best we can over here. As you know, as well as everybody knows, we don't know a whole lot about volleyball, so we're kind of learning as we go here.
I definitely want to start with the Southeastern Uniota game just because
Yes.
Southeastern's kind of had a soft spot for us. We've been watching Ashton Ward and Emily Dressback out there.
Well, too, I feel like that has to be, I don't want to say a huge upset, but that Uniota would look kind of like a wagon at the beginning of the year.
And first-year coach, but we also, Midnight Madness, before the season even started, was one of the teams that kind of we watched had a lot of moxie. And, again, not knowing a lot of volleyball, toot our horn here. Did we pick something in Southeastern here?
Yeah, Southeastern's been a great story early on. The SVC Volleyball League, as always, is just incredible. I talk about it a lot on the SVC Sports Talk Plus. Appreciate John Bruce and all he's done with website work and different things he's done throughout. But yeah, the volleyball is one of my favorite things to cover. So I talk a lot of volleyball throughout the SVC. And you're right, those three teams there at the top at 3-1, and they've really arrived there in different ways. You know, Uniota is probably the most experienced complete team. You know, they play about 10, 11, 12 kids, which in volleyball sometimes is hard to do, but they make it work, and they're really solid in a lot of different areas. It's hard to name one of their kids. You know, you can talk about Daniels in the back row, you can talk about Wetzel doing some setting, you can talk about Cut right on the outside, but Parks defensively at the net. But it's almost unfair to start naming kids without naming them all, because
Right.
I don't believe they have a kid that plays all the way around. So they do it with a lot of collection of talent and everybody in their specific role. You know, Adina's still trying to find themselves a little bit. I made the comment the other night that with the non-league schedule they play, if you watch Adina here in 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see a completely different team. Congratulations, Coach Smith, on our
I was just
800.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
Coach Smith literally making history over there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if it would never happen, but I don't care if Adina went into a match 0-8 versus 8-0. I'm probably still not sleeping on Adina, you know.
Grace Townsend had her
Yeah.
1000th assist.
Thousand
as well.
assists,
Yeah.
Just early in her
such a-
junior year, that's a terrific number.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 is just. I know. I'm just.
And
Crazy,
then
but
Aubrey Clark, you know, she kind of sends a message. We're looking for, again, we like the kids to send us our stats. It's a little bit easier than us trying to go out and find it.
we love it. To be honest
Yes.
with you, if you can tell us you're awesome, we
Yeah.
will agree with you because we think everybody is. But
yeah, she sends our stats, and I think we're actually obligated to call 911 with how many kills that she's recording
we've
on a
already
nightly
alerted
basis,
the
Coach.
police. Okay, 'cause,
But
we added them up. 72 kills, 14 blocks. Just out here dominating. We really like to see it, but she's out here playing for Westfall. How are you feeling about them this year? I guess you could say.
Yeah, they're in that mix. I mean, and listen, really all the way down the line. I mean, off the top of my head, to give you an idea how crazy this has been so far. Huntington Southeastern went 5. Huntington Zane Trace went 5. Huntington Westfall went 5. Huntington lost at Westfall in a match that they were up 8-0 in the 5th set, going to 15.
and they were down
lost.
the next set too, right?
Yeah, and you know, so you keep going. You know, you're finding 4 and 5 set matches everywhere, and they're becoming coin flip matches. And a lot of times, what happens is we have some really good individual talent, as you've highlighted there. Clark and Blackburn there at Westfall would certainly be in that mix. Henshaw and Carroll over at Huntington, and you know, we mentioned Townsend in a great group there to Dina Bossert in the back row, and they have some hitters that are really going to come on. They're excellent in the middle with Preston and Day, Burns and Kruger on the outside. So yeah, there's some really good talent throughout the volleyball league. It'll start to separate itself. They do the Tuesday Thursday format.
Mhm.
So this Tuesday Thursday, and then next Tuesday would be the end of the first round, believe it or not. We're already there. So it goes Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, and then that following Thursday they'll start over. So it'll start to sort itself out a little bit, but Southeastern's certainly been the story of the first round. Their ability
You're
to
thinking
get that
Adina
win
might
the
be
other
the
night.
story of the second.
You know, I said this the other night on SVC Sports Talk Plus. I think Adina will certainly make the biggest improvement from where they are now to then, just because of the makeup of their team, and obviously they're well
The coach.
coached. You didn't need to bring me on to know that. Now Uniota's really well coached as well.
Mhm.
The difference is the difference is Uniota is kind of like who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're older, they're experienced, and who they are is really good because they're on pace to like win 20 some volleyball games. Yeah, I think it'll just be some interesting matchups. Usually it comes down to who can kind of win. What happened the other night in that first set? I want to say Uniota was up 24-19 and lost
Yeah.
26-24, and it just flipped the entire match. So volleyball's a funny thing. Sometimes you're playing and it's kind of like the cut right interception the other night,
Yeah.
right? Sports are funny. A team will be dominating for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then one play will just flip something.
We
and
saw
Lady
that in
Mo
the
goes the other
Uniota
way.
Waverly game. Waverly's down 14-0 the whole half. They get 14-7, then they have a hook and ladder
The
to
week
go into
3 game, yeah.
halftime, 14-14, and then they have all the momentum come out and basically
They
kind
received
of go
the
from
second
there.
half kickoff.
Yeah,
and it's
went from there.
off the
Coach,
races.
I kind of want to touch on something that you said there. We went to the Midnight Madness again because we knew what we were going to be covering the show, and we just knew we did not know volleyball at all. So we wanted to kind of look at some of the teams. All the teams did this, but Southeastern did it so much that they just stood out to me so more than the rest. They were down, I feel like, in almost every single one of their matches, 13-8. 12-5, 13, I think 4 at one point. And in all those matches, they came back and won. Uniota did it. Zane Trace did it. I think Uniota did it to Zane Trace twice to actually win the Midnight Madness. One thing that I was kind of saying at that was, holy crap, if they're all doing this to other teams, what happens when they play each other in the league? Yeah. It's kind of a question I want to ask you, Coach. Is that what makes I don't want to just say SVC volleyball, but I guess volleyball in general so much more exciting, is that you look at a team as down 10, and especially in the SVC with a Southeastern, with a Uniota, with a Zane Trace, there's still a good chance that team comes back and wins the game.
What I love most about volleyball, and you could speak on this way better than I can, is momentum.
Yes. Yes.
So because there's so many players there, like if one person's kind of down, if somebody else does something, you don't really stay down.
Yeah.
I got to play a little bit at military school, not against other teams, but like you kind of get it, like, man, I missed that. Next play, you're like, oh, that guy just did a dot.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm back in this.
Yeah.
And so there's like this kind of camaraderie. So when you can get your momentum going, that other team feels it too. So it's kind of crazy. And when you take serve, you kind of can control it.
Yeah.
So the momentum, man, when it gets going, that's the sweetest part about volleyball to me. But I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh,
but I didn't want to say something stupid before the smart guy.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. The one thing, I shouldn't bury the lead on the Uniota Southeastern match, and I probably did there. Josie Logheed was big time the other night. She was terrific.
27 kills, 14
kills in
digs.
3 sets.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. This is what I was talking about, where Uniota has been a little bit more complete at all the rotations. For volleyball, if people aren't familiar with it, as you rotate, say take Logheed of Southeastern there. She's going to hit for 3 rotations across the front, and then if she goes to the back, she's going to set. So you're not allowed to hit from the back row unless you do it from behind that 10-foot line. Okay.
Oh,
so long story short, for people who don't know volleyball, it would be kind of like, I'll just try to help maybe a sports fan understand. It would be kind of like Coach Dye being able to give it to Robertson on first, second, and third down, but then there being a rule that, okay, he can't touch the ball for like the next 5 plays. Okay. And that type of thing.
Or say you got your quarterback for like 3 of 4 downs.
Oh,
that's right.
Because like
that's
your best
right.
player
So,
can't.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Then, Coach, we'll kind of talk about this. We had an idea of doing like a volleyball for dummies and just having like some segments where we can help people learn, and by people we mean us. But so is that with the libero then? Is that why it's kind of key for them, because they can obviously kind of come and go as they please, right? And then they can kind of makeshift, or how does that kind of work?
Yes and no. Without getting too detailed here, basically, the libero is passing for 2 different people. They can only serve once.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times it'll be like, a lot of times it might be the 2 middle hitters. So the middle hitters playing the front row, and that libero is passing for both of them in the back row. She can only serve once, so one of those middles would probably go back and serve.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and that's what makes volleyball a little bit more specialized. What I was saying about playing all the way around, some of your best all-around players play in all 6 rotations. Like, so they'll hit in the front row, they'll pass in the back row, or some of them may set from the back row, and they're impacting the match in so many different ways. And then what separates some of those teams is their depth, if this makes sense, in that fourth, fifth, and sixth rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Because when some of those best hitters go to the back, not every team has the ability to still attack at the net in that fourth, fifth, and sixth rotations, and that's what kind of starts to separate your Uniotas and Adinas throughout the course of the entire season, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
So it'd be kind of like a basketball depth, like your starting point guard and shooting guard both get 3 fouls, but your back it's like your starting
even
point
when
guard
you
and shooting
rest.
guard is Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and then they foul out. Then you have to put in Michael Jordan and Steph Curry. You know what I mean? That's that
You
I
gotta
can see
gas
that.
them a little bit, give them
Yeah.
some rest, and the other guys get out there. That was why the Warriors were so good for so long. It's just that second unit was able
Was
to
it
gas the long. so long.
Definitely.
But, I just wanted to ask: are there any specific kind of you spoke on players that can pretty much just be out there all 6 and do a little bit of everything? Can you give me maybe 2 or 3 of them that are just kind of people I can look out for, or some people you think? Maybe not even superstars, just grinders.
Just some unsung heroes
Yeah, just
that
people you think go out there and give it all in every facet.
Oh, I certainly think that exists all the way throughout the league. I think I mentioned at Adina Bossert, their libero is phenomenal. I
Yeah.
mean, she's just incredible. She does a super job. I think when you go and you look, Blackburn is someone there at Westfall that jumps out at me. A
Mhm.
lot of times she's coming across the front wire with Clark, and there's only one ball to go around. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's one of those where it's no different than having 2 scores in basketball. There's one ball to go around, and they make each other better, and so forth. I think as the year goes on, you're going to look for some consistency. Zane Trace is a dangerous team. Remember, I said they ended up taking Huntington 5 early in the year. Um, they've proven. You have Scott there, you have Platt there. There's some nice pieces there for sure. Conley at Paint Valley has played well early on. So yeah, it's I think throughout all, and what you're going to find is most of these teams are starting to play 9, 10, 11, 12 kids. So as I said, you don't see a lot of kids play all the way around. So that if you watch carefully, Miller as a passer at Uniota jumps out at me. So yeah, there's a lot of kids that they do their specific thing, and when they're doing it really well, they can really impact a match.
Is Ella Cutright related to Caden? I mean,
Yes,
does anybody know?
yes,
Brother and
yes.
sister or cousins?
Yeah, yeah.
Brother and sister.
Ella and Kate. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Savage sports family. Both
Yeah, I was about to say it's like the McFaddens of Paint Valley. Coach, we are, I think, finally starting to find our love for volleyball. The more we kind of dive into this, really want to do a lot more things. Just obviously with starting the show, or spread a little thin on some things. Kind of want to do a quick pivot. Again, thanks so much for taking some time out of your Saturday to come in and drop some knowledge on all of us here at Ride the Wave. It looks like for soccer, one name that keeps kind of popping up to me is Reese Allen from Zane Trace. He had 2 goals against Jackson, and he's kind of popping off there on the boys' side. Girls' side, it looks like Aubrey Thomas, Amelia Urig, Yoda. It looks like they're being a problem when it comes to soccer, which is nothing out of the ordinary. What's some things our SVC soccer fans can kind of look forward to as we kind of hit maybe the middle to late end of the season here?
Yeah, from early on, what I'm observing, it seems Uniota is the favorite in the boys and girls. You mentioned Thomas there. I know she had the game winner against Westfall there the other night. She's a terrific player. Danison's another one for Uniota on the girls' side. Obviously, you mentioned Allen. There's some others there at Zane Trace, Gerald, the Chavez brothers, Robinson. Um, that they're probably the 2 best teams, Zane Trace Uniota on the boys' side as well. The Yeah, I said this the last time I was on. I think what's happening in the soccer is the league is starting to form, and they're trying to stabilize it. You have some programs that are at little different levels, so they're trying to find some different scheduling and so forth. I know Gabe Cox had a goal for Westfall the other night, so they're starting to establish more. I feel like if the league can get to the 4 or 5 teams, and it can stabilize, they have a chance to grow. I think some of the other schools are having trouble getting consistent numbers throughout because, man,
Right.
fall's hard. When you start
Yeah.
going cross country, you go golf, you go soccer, you go football, you're in the band.
And
It's
it's not
hard.
like
You know,
we're in
it's you're
Columbus where each school has 1,000 to 1,500 kids
right.
minimum. I mean, if your best athletes love football and they go play football, there goes any chance of you having soccer. Kind of like, and I know Chillicothe has it, but like lacrosse. I feel like the only reason lacrosse probably might not pop off here is because so many kids down here already love baseball, softball, track and field. And if they're not doing that, they're doing travel volleyball because of how big it is down here. It's a great sport that just doesn't really have a chance to grow in this area just because of the kind of sports that people like around here. I feel.
It just kind of seems, if you look at the best teams, ignorant opinion, if you look at the records, it's Zane, Trace, and Unioto, both boys and girls. Just assuming
Two big schools, and they've had soccer programs forever. So kind of like you just said, Coach, like
just takes a
they have
other
a
teams to
10 to
establish.
15 year minimum jump on some of these schools. It's just hard for them to overcome. Looking over to golf, looks like Westfall on the boys and girls side, Coach, is still taking care of business, being in first place there. I know you kind of said beginning of the season there's some teams to look out for. What are the Mustangs doing right out there with the golf?
Well, I've had a lot of people tell me in the golf world that this was coming. I think I highlighted that the last time we were together, and they really have. You know, some of the names throughout there. There's Beegler. I think I'm saying that right.
Beegler,
there's
Hicks.
There's
Yep.
Bush, Bruna Garth. Camden is on that group. Yeah, they have a nice group. They've been playing the game for a long time. Crown Hill up there with Kevin Schultz and the Westfall coaching staff with some other people. Remember his daughter Maddie Schultz that's gone on to play college. Because even on the girls' side with like Paige Weiss and Packer, two of their basketball guards playing there, and on the girls' side, I know I'm missing some. Seaver, I think is how you say that name. Oni is one on the Lady Mustangs. Yeah, they have really, golf has really taken off there, and I would give Crown Hill and their staff and the Westfall golf coaches a lot of credit just for the love of the game. And you know, Uniota's still a solid team. You know,
Yeah, they're
Charlie
sitting
Lewis
right
had
there
a
in second for the boys
career.
at 28.
They,
So it looks
they,
like
they seem to be 1-2 in every match.
Yeah. Zane Trace, not too far off. Sitting at 13, Adina at 18. It just looks like girls-wise, Westfall's really taking care of business there for sure.
Now, the one thing, Clay, that is unique there, real quick, I should add, is a lot of the programs, the girls will help kind of fill the boys' team, and then they might go back and forth and play a little bit.
Oh, really?
Westfall's numbers don't appear to be doing that. So, like, you take Sydney Ader. I think people need to understand that, like, when they see her scores on the boys' side, she's playing from those tees, and then she's going over on the girls' side and moving up. So a lot of times that's a little bit misleading too. But Weiss there at Well and Ader at Adina, terrific girls in terms of golf in our league. Gosh, I know Puckett of Adina.
Yeah.
Pop of Southeastern, Taylor there at Huntington's probably an all league. You mentioned Zane Trace earlier. I was trying to think of their number one. It's Grundolski. Am I saying that right?
I did want to say it, but I think you're right. I think it's Grundolski is how you pronounce that.
He's having a nice year as well. So yeah, there's some nice individual talent that Westfall and Uniota certainly, you know, in terms of the depth there.
Well, Coach, again, thanks so much for taking some time out of your Saturday and helping us drop some knowledge on some people here. And by people, we mean us because we're the ones that need it the most. Coach, Browns win 24-3. So I thought I'd let you know they're Brown country going strong, baby. So I hope you have some good fun relaxing on your Sunday and getting to watch some NFL football, Coach.
Hey guys, as an administrator and as a coach here locally, and someone that still tries to help in the media, I love what you guys are doing. It's awesome for the kids, and just appreciate your effort.
Hey, Coach, again, if it wasn't for you and your SVC Sports Talk website, we would be nothing right now. So we want to thank you so much for helping us out. Keep doing what you're doing, Coach, and you're honestly around here for us a huge role model for how long you've been doing it, it's very evident, not just to us, but everyone around here. You do this for the love of the sport.
The
and-
way that you speak is so
Yeah,
refreshing. Like I have to say that it comes from a passionate standpoint. It's not just. I
I think I'll record that clip and see if I can text
Put it on
to
your
my
intro,
wife
Coach.
and let
Do
her.
you need a hype tape?
Oh, we will get
my
you a
wife
hype
put
tape.
that
If you want the knowledge,
I love it.
you use a comb to brush your hair. You use a comb to brush up your knowledge. All righty, and you heard it here with Shane. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the world famous. Oh, by the way, we should let you know, Coach, we do have a viewer in Japan, so you are officially world famous now. The world famous Shane Combs.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for all coming on, Coach.
Thanks.
All right. Always electric with Coach Combs on here. I love
It's
it.
so perfect because I do feel like we can be. It's like good cop, bad cop. He's clearly good. We suck. And it's like good cop, bad cop. It's nice.
It's like, hey, we don't know volleyball yet. Catch.
Like, I think it's really cool when they score a lot of points in a row.
Catch, I have a question.
Momentum, and
Can
he's
you
just like,
save me for
anyways.
being an idiot? But yes, again, thank you so much for Coach Combs coming on here. Now, guys, I just want to say again, we're going to go over Uniola beats Westfall 48-26. Big game out there. Paint Valley beat Southeastern 39-9. Huntington loses to Piketon 41-7. Zane Trace beats Adena 49-39. And you want to know something that's awesome about the SVC? It's people that support the SVC, like Kenneth Corcoran. I don't know if everyone out there might know KT. You ever see that amazing Jerry Garcia poster that's behind the couch whenever Tony's chilling over there? That was made by Kenneth Corcoran. He's a local artist around here.
The Chucky Finster on the side of the skate park down there. I know that was legendary. Somebody had to mess with it a little bit. That was absolutely elite.
I think he's actually been signed. If I had to say correctly, I think it's either Topps or one of those baseball card places. But he actually is signed by them to do and has like a card collection. But if you want to check out this graphic that our most gracious MVD is going to pull up here in a minute, he made a graphic of all the mascots for the SVC. If you take a look at here, this is awesome, dude.
I absolutely
this is
love it.
so dope. Like you get so much of like I don't know how to really describe it, like the super corporate edited version of like some of these. It's so nice to see an artist like take it and have some fun with it, man. Like,
some of you might be familiar. He actually did some of the players in the SVC and
Yes.
made them cards specifically as well. So you might have seen some of those before. He's done amazing work around here. But that being said, we're not even just trying to plug him. I just want to show you. It's
so nice.
sweet.
It's super dope. Like, again, everybody's gonna say Paint Valley bias. Don't care. When Cole Miller won the three titles,
Oh my God,
dude, he
Paint
dropped.
Valley bias.
Shut up. He dropped an amazing thing for that when Uniola, call me biased now, when Uniola went on their huge run in the tournament, dropped some amazing stuff for them. I mean, if you need something cool, something different to look at for your school, look up his Facebook page. There's a bunch of stuff on there. I know sometimes he'll do some drawings for kids, and he doesn't sell them to. He gives it to them,
I
and
was
that's the
literally about to
biggest
say,
thing.
Don't
Yeah.
bother him though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
very passionate. He
Yes.
loves to do, but he does it for the love of it.
Yes,
That's why
he
really appreciate it too.
the amazing thing, again, a little story about KT. So he was a student of my dad's, right? And he made that Jerry Garcia picture just for my dad because my dad was a huge Grateful Dead fan, and he was a big teacher for KT, so KT wanted to give it to him as a gift. Held on to it for 2 years, wanting to give it to him. Unfortunately, my dad passed away, so he wasn't able to give it to him. So he wanted to give it to me, not sell it to me, give it to me, just because he knew I was a big Dead fan myself. And that's just the kind of person that KT is.
We have an old war veteran friend, one of the nicest men I've ever met. We go down, we watch some baseball games with him. I won't mention his name on here just out of respect, but he's a huge Browns fan. Multiple times have kind of made him some artwork that's hanging in that man's house. again, he didn't charge or anything
No.
like that. But I just think it's amazing. He's made stickers before for
Amazing stickers.
It's just
I try to give him some props. So I went on that big Grateful Dead road trip with Koof Andy right over the summer, and he gave us these Grateful Dead stickers. Like he just gave them to me, and so I tried to pass them out at the concerts, right? And then your boy forgot them at my house. That's my bad, KT. I swear that was my intention.
I'll take 'em.
So just drop the ball on that one.
I
my
actually
man.
have 2 of his stickers on like I have a garage radio, but it's
So Tony, we actually have some breaking news here on the Ride the Wave show.
I need to make like a noise up. Hey, before I forget, you suck at announcing golf. I literally
golf.
I wrote it down in my phone to make sure we readdress it. Can you speak on golf speak announce?
No, I said, can you speak on the golf?
I
didn't know what to say.
Dude. We'll get better, I promise. All right, but
Don't promise that.
yeah,
do not make promises we personally cannot keep.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to learn anything
Yeah,
from watching a bet. Here
We're
we go,
gonna
the
hope that
third
we get better.
green.
Okay. Hey,
We'll
Coach,
try.
can you explain the golf to us? Breaking news. Sorry. This is a well-ran podcast if you guys have not figured it out yet. I
Who
mean,
interrupts breaking news? I suck.
So big breaking news, not a laughing matter, actually something very serious. Very serious. We had multiple people reach out to us, and we had multiple questions that we couldn't answer, so we decided to fix it. Effective immediately, Miami Trace and Hillsborough will be added to our coverage area for the fantasy sports and all sports in general. Hell yeah, brother! We really kind of didn't have them in the beginning just because we just didn't have a plug for their stats or anything like that. We had a bunch of fans reach out asking why, and actually the coach of Hillsborough reaching out kind of being like, hey, why are we not included? And we were like,
It's literally because if we're going to cover, we want to do it as well as possible.
Right, we don't
You know,
wanna-
Even at Adino, we were trying to just say, hey, if you guys can help us out and things like that. We
Right.
want to do it the best way possible. It was not because we don't love you,
yes.
but we do love you a little more.
But so coach reached out. Very cool of him to help us out with the stats. And I want to give you guys Hillsborough a big shout out. Did you hear that burp?
Yeah. It was
Okay. I tried to
sound like you're
hide
about
it,
to-
dude.
I just really want to give a shout out.
I tried to hide it. But big Hillsborough, you have something going on really great out there. You have a football coach that cares. That's trying to get your kids more. You guys really have something going on out there. So again, we want to welcome Miami Trace, welcome Hillsborough into our area of coverage. Again, we wanted to have you from the beginning, just didn't really know how to get stats. Now that we have that down pat, 100% go. We'll actually have a little redraft, just a little 2-round draft we'll probably do ourselves and send out the results after that, so that way people will know what teams they went to and stuff like that. But
If one person tells us to film it, we'll film it. But it's not going to be like the normal stuff. It's going to
Film
be
it.
us. We're filming it?
No, you said one person. One person. Gotcha on that one. Now, here's one person, Tony, that I wouldn't want to come in contact with on a football field. Have you heard of Thor's hammer? He hits you harder than that.
I prefer cheat code. I'm calling him cheat code.
He is
for
a
the
cheat
rest of
code.
time.
He is, Adina Regional Medical Center filled up quite a bit here in the beginning of football season because this kid's hitting people so hard they had to go get themselves checked out. We call him the cheat code, but Zay Trace calls him the one and only Blake Phillips.
How you guys doing?
Blake, how's it going, my man?
Hey, it's great. I just watched the Brownies catch a fat dub.
Yeah, let's go! Yeah, let's go!
Yeah!
All right, so Blake
Yeah.
Phillips.
I've been on it too. I'm fine.
Let's go. Hey, Blake, I loved you. I love you even more now that you're a Browns fan. Whenever you graduate and you want to smile on this show, welcome aboard, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Blake,
I'm all for it.
speaking of the Browns, watching Nick Chubb just put people in body bags today kind of reminded me of you. Man, Tony's been kind of saying it ever since Friday, pad level, everything like that. You just get so low and just absolutely run people over. What is it?
You know, I just try to, really focus on staying low. That's what coaches always told me, and just always being a bigger back. You know, I got to get low and run people over and get the extra yardage. And Nick Chubb, he's a dude I always watch, and I love how he runs, and I just try to put my game onto his and try to go from there.
Yeah, I watched Nick Chubb's video where he did a squat and it looked like the bar was about to snap in half. So yeah, keeping those legs chopping, getting those pads low, it's definitely something big.
We touched on it in the post game interview. I just love the fact that you let things develop. You even spoke on it. I just want you to speak on it again because you spoke on it so well after the game. But he just once specifically, it looked like he froze behind the line, like literally, and it was just like he was levitating because his feet never stopped moving. And then it was boom, and it was literally the perfect direction. He let it develop, had a blocker, and it was like the easiest 9 yards he could have had. You know what I mean? But can you speak on kind of letting the big beauties let the play develop?
Thank you, Tony.
My job's to make my linemen right. They always got to be right. I always got to make my blockers right. So, I always give them that extra minute to get stuff set up and just see where the hole opens up, and I got to hit that as hard as I can.
Does that come from drills? Is it kind of like a second instinct? Maybe listen to your coach, having chemistry with your lineman? What is it?
Yeah, I say having chemistry with my linemen. I try to build relationships with those guys, and we stay tight, and I just love those guys. They work hard for me every day, every game. It's just they're amazing.
Oh, buddy, as an ex-lineman, I'm getting excited over here.
You really saw it, though. How many times did we say, like, that was one of the most well-executed plays?
Yes.
The way you see that is when you see offensive linemen not getting ahead, not getting those penalties, but being right there to block as soon as somebody gets the ball. They had a great game.
So Blake, we kind of wanted to ask you. You guys have the new coach out there this year. Lost a few seniors last year. What's it been like under the new regime out there at St. Trace?
It definitely took some getting used to, that's for sure. But, we at the beginning of the season, our first 2 scrimmages, we had some guys go down, and we'll be getting them back here soon. But, it's just been a slow start for us. But, right. Coach Weirs, he's been great. He knows a lot about football, and his plays, we just have to execute them great. They work. He showed us on film, they'll work. We just got to execute them.
Well,
we really got to focus up and just –
I think you were down a couple linemen from what I heard as well, so you were kind of out there getting some good blocks in front
down
of you.
Down a couple linemen and down your starting quarterback, and you still come up with a double-digit win.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that.
Blake, I wanted to touch on you being the senior back. You've been through one hell of a ride already at St. Trace. Speaking last year specifically, you guys get the gold ball. You go to the playoffs. You guys got a playoff win last year, right? Or I can't.
Yeah,
really,
we got one.
Yeah, so you get the playoff win. You come in this year. You're a senior running back. You get a brand new coach. People honestly kind of forgot about you throughout the whole offseason. I'll just if I do say so myself, we were a lot of people talking Unionta and Piketon, and when I say a lot of people, obviously we were part of that crowd. So sorry. Then you guys get off. You run into a good Logan Elm team. You're kind of with them the whole game, and then you play Waverly week 2. Doesn't go the way you expect. You bounce back, get 2 big wins. As a senior, going through what you did last year and then what you're doing this year, what's it been like, kind of taking that leadership role and kind of helping Coach Weirs bring these guys up to greatness?
Yeah, last year we lost 17 seniors. So
jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
So my role definitely changed coming into this year, and we lost a big bruiser, Daniel Barnhart. So I knew we had to step up, and I got Riley right by my side. We're a 1-2 punch. So and then Coach Weirs, he always tells us, good teams coaches lead, great teams players lead. So that means us seniors have to step up, and we gotta some guys, keep them up. Even though we had the first loss, we gotta step up, work harder, put our heads down, and just this week we gotta really focus. Our offense is going pretty well, but our defense is slacking a lot, and I think it's part of us leaders have to step up and start getting these guys to work a little harder in practice, because I think we're slacking off a little bit.
I will say something to your leadership. I saw it on the field with you. I even saw it in Carter, who wasn't even in pads, There was a lot of times where adversity hit you guys on Friday. You had the huge play for a touchdown that I really don't know if it was intended for Joey Francis or he was just in right place, right time. But he gets
Yeah,
that big touchdown, and then
Same right place, right time.
and then you have an interception late to still make it kind of exciting on Adina's end. But what I saw was you and Carter and them saying, "Hey, no big deal, next play," and just shaking it off and then going out there and executing. And I just want to give you a huge compliment on that senior leadership, man, because it's super important.
Appreciate
It's
that.
super important.
Also, when the game got heated, keeping your composure and not giving
Yes.
away yards. They were kind of having some costly penalties and things. And again, we love passion, but
Yes.
you guys still had it, but you kind of did it correctly. But we appreciate that, and way to have that senior leadership because, man, when you see some of that couple dirty plays there,
Yeah.
it's sometimes hard to not just fire right back off and give them one right back.
So Blake, you said that you kind of look at Nick Chubb. Is there some other runners maybe that you kind of emulate your game? Oh, Adam is back from saving world hunger. Adam is back. Adam is back from saving world hunger.
Appreciate it. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Blake. Adam's been out saving
all good.
saving lives, solving world hunger. So we had to make sure everybody knew that he got that secured for him. But
That's
again, Nick Chubb, I know you said is a runner that you look at too as a former Browns fan. Is there any other runners that maybe in college, maybe in the NFL, that you try to emulate your game after?
Yeah, I'd say maybe before Kareem Hunt left the Browns, I am, but he was catching passes out of the backfield. I love to do that. Steve, I'm like one of the best hands on the team, and I want to use those. So even though I dropped the pick, I got him on offense. I guess I just forgot him on
Hey, as long as
defense.
you get him on offense, that's all your coaches really
Hey.
worried about.
Yeah,
Um,
and then just Chris McCaffrey too. He's
hell
just
yeah.
a beast.
He is, man. Every time he gets the ball, you think it's going in for 6.
Well, when you talk pad level and stuff, that's actually a good example of it.
Yeah.
Just the style of guy that he is with the kick and punt returns and the ability to pretty much do anything. That's because of the style of running that he does, and it's similar to yours. Now you say that.
Yeah.
So Blake, you're running back now. Have you been a running back through Pee Wee? Were you like a quarterback that went to running back? Kind of what's kind of your football story here?
So I've always been a running back, but there was one year I didn't make the weight limit in Pee Wee, and I had to play guard. And then my 6th grade year, we weighed in. I didn't eat for like 2 days, and I made
Went
weigh-ins.
full wrestling mode.
I was like right below it. And then if you were so close, you had to weigh in twice.
Mhm.
But something happened, and we didn't have to weigh in twice. So I was like 125, and the weight limit was 120. Just playing running back 6th grade, and
He was like,
Yeah,
"Bring me the
I've always
Cheetos
been-
after weighing, and I am ready to stuff my face."
I've always been on the bigger side, and I kind of like
Me
it.
too.
Just being on the, just being able to hit people real hard and just say, hey, I'm here.
It
It's
doesn't
just
matter
awesome.
if you're big when you got quick feet, man, and you really do. Like whether it be at the linebacking position, whether it be at a running back position, when your feet don't stop moving, you're slow at your feet. You're not slow because you're big up top.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was talking to you about game speed.
Yes.
I felt like with you, I saw so much of, although it's like, if you tell you to run a sprint, I'm sure there's more athletic people than you, but with game speed, when it's just being able to stop and go and
Make a
speed up,
quick cut.
accelerate,
Yeah.
and different things like that, you have a lot of game speed.
I'll give a shout out to you saying that I was a little overweight and had to be a guard. I was a tight end basically the entire time I played football, and then kind of like you, 6th grade, I go to weigh in, and they said I was too heavy to carry the ball, so I quit. I was like, I'm not being a guard. I'll just come back next year where it doesn't matter. And guess what happened? I got put as a guard. So I think that was just some karma coming back to hit me. Oh, Tony, it looks like your Eagles are on here. So if you guys see Tony looking over here, it's because his whole life is on the TV screen. So Browns fan, what's your college? Is it Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio State.
All right, so you're living good right now. Got a couple of dubs out of Ohio
yeah.
State. Got a couple dubs. Well, not a couple, but I'll call it a couple dubs because you didn't just win. We beat the Bengals. Ohio's rivalry. It's something.
You stop
something to-
talking, there's real football on. Come on.
Blake, we want to talk about rivalries here. Uniota Zane Trace. I feel like every time somebody comes on from one of the schools, we got to ask about it. You were in probably one of the best Uniota Zane Trace football games that's probably ever been played. Can you kind of just talk to us a little bit what it's like being part of that rivalry and what those games mean to you?
It's great. It's a different feeling. And knowing you're playing them. Right before the game. You just get that feeling. It's coming. And last year was electric. Like it was the best game I've ever played in. Probably the best game I'm ever going to play in. Like the field was shaking. That's how crazy it was. And I just look forward to that game every year. And I just want to beat them every year. It's just great.
I don't blame
It's
you,
just
man.
great to be a part of.
Uniota wasn't even our biggest rivalry. It was, as Mr. Holbert would say, the team over the hill. Sorry, MVD. But every single time that we played them, man, it's like Uniota could be coming in with 0 and whatever, and you felt like you were about to play the Golden State Warriors or like the '85 Bears. It's kind of sucks for them that they always have that target on their back. But kind of what you're saying and what we've been hearing from everybody that comes on. You really don't know what's going to happen with a Zane Trace Uniota game. One team can come in 10-0, the other one come in 0-10, and the 0-10 team still has a very, very likely chance of winning that game. Blake?
Yeah, those games close.
Blake, you do football. Do you do anything in the winter, the springtime?
I used to play basketball all the way up till my freshman year, and then I tried to play it last year, and then it just didn't work out for me. It just wasn't right. And then I played baseball. I've played baseball since I was 4.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
This is probably what happened in basketball. He went up there for a layup, and they're like, Blake, you're not allowed to run people over at this point.
What position you play in
That's how it
baseball?
was. What is it?
That's awesome,
I said,
man.
what position you play in baseball?
I'm a catcher.
Oh,
Okay.
hell yeah. So you got an arm then, I bet.
got these big legs.
Do you know how many people you threw out stealing?
My arm's mid, so I got a great arm, but
Don't sell yourself short. It's great. If
So I
it's,
just wanted to apologize. At the game, there was a crazy fan in the stands that was yelling at your coach to give you the ball. I don't know who it was because I had a mic on the whole time,
Right,
so it could
okay.
not have been me. There
Yeah,
was no way
okay.
it was me.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
somebody
Yeah, I
right
think
in
I
front of
heard
me.
that.
0% chance it was this guy, even though there's 100% chance it was this
Yeah,
guy.
I took my mic.
I think
I know. Tony, I was sitting right next
But
to you.
I just want to apologize for whoever that fan was, but I hope they do what that fan said.
it's all good.
Tony, I love you more than anything.
Well, it's funny because you're playing against him in fantasy this week.
I don't care. I'm there watching the man. I know what needs to be done. I want to see it.
Blake, is there any talking about giving you the ball more? Because I think I just like watching you hit people, man. It's so awesome. Was there any running backs like your freshman, sophomore, junior year at Zane Trace that kind of help you show the ropes? We talked to Cam Evans, and he said one of the Zane Trace guys he kind of looked up to, and I don't think he played with him, but like before high school was Pierce Mowry, and then when he got to high school, kind of reached out to him a little bit. Was there anybody like that for you?
I'd say Truman Love is a big
Oh,
one.
dude.
That's
No
a
wonder
big
you hit
name.
people so hard. I think I've saw Truman Love send people to the ER like 5 times a game, dude.
We said
Yeah.
during the broadcast, like,
big.
we wish you could hear it.
Yeah.
Like, multiple times we're like, oh, man. And
Sorry.
we know it didn't translate.
Sorry to cut you off, Blake, but yeah, I've seen
Oh,
Truman
okay.
Love hit people, and it hurt me watching.
Oh, he was a beast.
He was.
And then I'd say I learned a lot from Daniel. And then
Okay.
I'd say it's just those two, really. And then I came in sophomore year, and I was right by Daniel in the backfield, and we were, he'd kind of help me out a little bit, tell me what I was always asking him questions and stuff, and then I feel like that built up to senior year. Now all the young guys were asking me questions, and it's great, just to
Role
step up
was
and be a
reversed
leader.
there.
Yeah.
Blake,
I
is
learned
there
a lot from him.
anything after high school? Are you looking into college? Are you going to play football anywhere? Got any offers, anything like that?
I don't have anything. No,
Okay,
and
this right here is to any college out there. Get this man on your recruiting board. He will win you games. What the hell is going on here? Sorry.
Do you know there's California University of
Yes.
Pennsylvania?
Like, come on.
You're telling me you can't play there? My ass.
This man is going to win you titles. Sorry, Blake. It is outrageous. You don't have any offers. But anyways, any colleges you're kind of looking at? Anything you're looking at after high school?
I mean, it's just any opportunity that comes my way. Of course I'm going to check it out and just, I guess, whatever best fits me is what I'm going to do. But so far, nothing. So I'm just going
Take
to
your time,
keep
man.
playing my
Figure it out.
hardest and
You keep
trying to.
playing the way you're playing,
keep
man,
trying
and
to-
carrying yourself the way you're carrying. I can't see why universities won't be literally kicking your door down saying, sign with me!
I mean, just in life, you're an awesome
Yes.
kid, man. If you keep it up, good things are gonna happen. To you.
Anything, like we said, like Tony said, the way you carry yourself, the way we see you put in the work, man, sports, career, college, anything like that, you're going to be successful. It's super evident of that.
And if you ever need help with any of it, we got you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Blake, you guys got a big game next week against Piketon, right? And then after that, that's Uniota, right? So you got 2 big games coming up here.
I think we might have Huntington in between. I think.
Right. Yeah. So Piketon, Huntington, so you got a big 3 weeks coming up here. How do you keep your team focused and take the missions as they come?
We just got to stay on them. Some of them, they like to kind of gear off at practice. We got to stay on them. I have the scout team give the first D the best reps. Scout the first team O the best reps that we can get. And this week defensively we have to step up big. Last week was ugly, like ugly. But hopefully we can get some of these guys back that we're missing, and we can fill these holes in, and just get right back up there where we were last year.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. And honestly, man, after watching you guys, I know you said you got some stuff to work on. I have a question for you. Does Gunna the Stunner go against you guys as the scout team quarterback? I mean, he stepped up in a big way for you guys on Friday.
Yeah, he played great. He didn't know until after practice. We were walking off the field Wednesday, and Coach asked Carter if he was ready to go, and Carter's like, I don't think I can do it. And then he's like, well, Gunner, it's yours. So he didn't really find out till Wednesday night, and he really had to.
Wow.
I knew it. They
really
didn't change the
locked
game
in.
plan at all, did they? Did they just keep the
No.
same game plan and plug him in? I knew it.
You guys had
that second play action where he just ate that
50-yard
hit,
bomb,
and
yeah.
it was like, dude, no, this was exact game plan, and they said let's just full send it.
Now, does Gunna the Stunner, and again, we know his last name's McCullough. We finally figured that out, but we're sticking to the Gunna the Stunner.
Oh, he said he had gotten some version of it before, but it wasn't the way we said it, and I was like, he was totally cool with it.
Yeah.
So,
Gunner.
But Gunna the Stunner, does he play whenever Carter's in there? Is he like maybe a wide receiver or something like that as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
okay.
wide receiver.
Hell yeah.
And he's fully capable of playing any position on the field. Like he's just athletic. He's an athletic freak.
Yeah,
he's
looks
really
like he's got
tough, and the way he stepped up for us was big
huge,
time.
man, huge. Well, Blake, we look forward to seeing what you guys do this year. We look forward to seeing what you do again, not only on the field but off the field, man. It's been fun following you and your Pioneers out there. Again, shout out to anybody that you've been putting in the hospital, completely running them over. I mean, I would rather be hit by a bulldozer.
it was
I think.
loud. Like
Yeah.
you won't be able to hear it on the replay of it. But
Probably
I'm
because the
telling you.
idiot's screaming into the microphone.
And
but,
it wasn't every person either. It was literally like it was mainly you. It was just like, bah, bah.
But Blake, thanks so much for taking time out of watching the
Yes,
Browns.
thank you.
Dare I say, mollywop the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
Go Dog Pound.
It's like you said that's going to be the new catchphrase of the show. I was like, are we even allowed to say that?
I don't know, but
I was like, I think that's bad.
well, we're here. Send it. Send it. Blake, thanks again for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, the person that probably put your favorite player in the ER room, Blake Phillips.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for
That
coming
fan
on.
again. Oh my! They're right outside. Or
Jeez,
something.
Louise,
Jesus,
is this fan?
Shut up!
Try to run a show here. All right. All right, I think I got that fan out of here. So again, great conversation with not Blake Phillips, the Blake Phillips, as I say. Always an electric conversation with him. Super glad he could come back on and be a part of the show. Now, Adam, we have some questions for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you solve the world hunger or not?
No, I didn't. I'm pretty hungry
What?
myself. I made some.
I was about to say, I'm hungry as crap.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry myself, dude. I've been eyeing these pizza bagels I made like right before I came
Why would
on.
you do that to yourself?
Because you can have pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, and pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have it any time.
But why would you
Clay.
make it and then just stare at it for the
Because
whole
you
show?
can have it any time. It's in the song.
Well, because I didn't plan on.
I brought
I
beef
lost track of
stroganoff
time.
in my
I lost track of-
pocket to the Paint Valley
Real quick.
game. Oh, go.
Something I want to talk about. You said mollywopping.
Yep.
What was that, like 24-3? That ain't no mollywop, Clay. We're talking mollywops. We're talking 54 to nothing. We're talking 16 defensive points. Defense outscoring the whole team. Meg's going down. The only thing getting broke besides records is Meg's feelings. Sorry, I had to get that one off there.
I love
I
it.
said, wore my Vinton County hat for it.
Were you
pumped
talking
for it. I'm
about
so
you and Yoda
excited.
during that? I'm just messing with you. Yeah, Adam, walk us through this. Dare I say again, because it's very Molly Wop. 56 to nada.
Can we please?
I think it was 54. I think it was 54, but still, just absolutely crazy. So this is my thing: is the defense scored 16 points. They had a 100-yard INT. Crazy. Break out the oxygen tanks. Then they had
the oxygen tanks.
They had a scoop and score. Pretty sure that one was like, I think it was like 20 yards. I can't remember exactly the distance on the scoop and score. Scoop and score. But then they get 4 more points. That means they got 2 of their 3 sacks had to have been safeties.
Now, Adam, there's one thing I want you to talk about because you said it in like when we were talking in the group text, and I think it's something like evident that everybody needs to understand. Not obviously, we know you get super excited because it's Vinton County. Like I get super excited because it's Paint Valley, but not to sound.
I embrace my favoritism when it comes to Vinton County. You kind of fight your Paint Valleys a little bit.
I'm embracing PVs.
I'm biased.
The thing with PV is, you know, in my lifetime, I've watched us be good. I got to be a part of us being good, and then when I left, Paint Valley is good again. You brought up something real here for people like around your age of Vinton County fans. This is something that you guys, and I promise I'm not trying to be an ass here, but this is something that people around your age really just haven't got to experience being a Vinton County fan.
You're not being an ass. We're talking like
Thank you.
freshman year, 1-9. Sophomore year, 1-9, maybe 2-8. Junior year, 5-5, but that was because of some unfortunate circumstances that happened that the team decided to dedicate their season to, and they went 5-5. Senior year, much the same, back to 2-8. You know, so I mean, and then before that, I mean, the seniors, it would be like 1-9, 1-9, 1-9, 1-9, 1-9. I remember like my freshman year, the seniors that year, I saw a picture of a group of them together, and I was on Facebook or something, and the caption was, "So this is what 1-9 feels like." And I mean, collectively, they had 4 wins throughout their 4 years of high school. And it's just, you know, like, I'm like, so if you go to the Vinton County Hall of Fame, a lot of my family's in there. So like, they're talking about how great it was, and how awesome they were at football.
And
all
Adam's
this.
over here like, yeah.
Back in the day.
We haven't had a winning season since Coach O'Rourke left, or maybe Coach Downs. I think he coached like the early 2000s. I was like 6. I was like 6 the last time we were positive. We were 6-4 the last time we were positive. And then like that's something that I love about Coach Carper is the fact that he was on here talking about they were stuck in that 6-4 slump. I would have killed for a 6-4 slump. I would have killed for it. Like I'm so excited about what these boys are doing. I broke out NCAA. I got my player, my road to glory. I'm just smashing teams that I got the whole schedule made. I'm living vicariously through these guys. I love what they're doing. I love what the coaching staff's doing.
Dude,
It's just amazing.
I think
It's
a
a
big part
magic
of it
going on down there.
is the logistics thing. When you can openly realize that one of the biggest problems that you have is getting kids to practice and getting kids to the weight room, having to, you know, schedule your lifts 2 weeks in advance so you can make sure that freshmen have friends that can maybe drive that or juniors. Like
Yeah.
that's so key. I feel like before, you know, when you're 1-9, it's probably
And I feel like Vinton County, Adam obviously can speak on this a little bit more, has a Huntington and Paint Valley and need a feel to it to where Matt Combs was there forever, right? AD at Union Yoder now. Obviously, he bleeds purple and gold. That's where he went to school and everything. But we got to talk to him when we were out there for the Gameday show, and he's like, hey, you guys see Vinton County? Like, the love of Vinton County is there. Like, people around Vinton County are super, super excited about this team, as you can see with Adam here.
No, 100%. One of my favorite things about this team is so they had a guy that was out for a little while. He was a tight end last year. He's got an offer. I think he accepted an offer to play at Campbell.
Hey, there we go.
As an offensive lineman. So they switched him up.
Oh,
to
even an
tackle
offensive lineman. Bigger shout out.
Yeah,
Let's go.
boy, big boy.
Big boys up
Ashton
front.
Yeoman, the kid I gotta watch grow up. It's so amazing seeing him. Like the guy who get all the Benton County stats from, Andy Long. It's the Andy Long. It's his little brother. So I mean, he comes back, and Andy was telling me like they couldn't really run to one side of the ball because he was out, and this is his first full game back, and they win 54-0.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I can't get over it because you know how many times I've been on the other side of a 50-something to little.
Sounds like
score?
a lot.
So many times. Like I mean. Well, we played. So my freshman year, we were a freshman team that played JV schools. We played Athens JV school, and I don't know if it's the one time Joe Burrow decided to play JV football, but he played it against a freshman team, and it had like him, the Lowerman twins. And
I remember you told me that they didn't even really suit up in the second half.
I think Joe played like a quarter, maybe 2 quarters, had like 6 touchdowns on us. I mean, the final score was. It was 56-0, and our coach's speech after the game to try to like give us a pep talk was, "They hung 50 on you in the showers."
So take a pivot again. I'm becoming a Vinton County fan vicariously through you. So I'm
no. To quote you earlier on the show, that's my team. Don't be jumping on my team.
No. I'm saying I'm
I'm
cheering for him vicariously through you. That's 100% still your team.
If you want to know where my bias lies, all you have to say is you like us.
Yeah.
Whatever team,
100%.
whatever high school, whatever coach.
He
AD,
can be bought.
Just say, hey.
Everybody jump on the Vinton County train. The more the merrier. Come on over.
But to take a pivot, Jackson beats a Western Brown team 56-48. Looks like that was a big shootout. I don't know if you guys have heard of this kid. I think his name's Cade Wolford. Joking, it's Cade Wolford. He goes off for another huge game. 445 all-purpose yards with 5 touchdowns.
I want to sit here and act like I knew exactly what I was doing, but I did not.
I did not.
But I am happy that I did it.
He goes
Go
off for
Tony.
a big game. Jackson gets another win there. I think that
Big game.
No,
huge game.
Not
dude.
huge.
5
I feel like he wants the game.
all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
That's enormous. We could run out of ways to describe adjectives.
How big that was.
Adjectives.
Maybe
Yeah,
quarter
we don't talk real well anyway.
He had a quarter of a season last week.
In a game. That's insane. Like some people are like, hey, my 4 years of high school, I ran for 445 and are happy about it. He's like, Darius Slay, baby!
We got Jay Sir talking about 1,500.
As you guys heard
total,
here first with Tony, touchdown by the Darius Slay Eagles, pick 6, Mac Jones. It's always a good thing when you see the Patriots and an ex-Alabama person fail together. That's always awesome to see.
Horns up!
Horns up! They won me $20 freaking dollars! Hell yeah! If you want to stay in Vinton County too, looks like Vinton County's volleyball is really kind of picking up down there too as well. Getting some big wins over here. We got a few highlights of some of their games. Just talking with volleyball earlier with Coach Combs.
Look at that court, beauty.
It is a beautiful court. I was going to say
beauty, man. Let's go, bull.
the Viking at this bottom right, amazing.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah,
that's awesome.
My face is covering that up. Let me go ahead and move myself. That's awesome. The two-tone underneath the two-tone underneath the 3-point line, the paint, the teeth.
Super nice. Nice. And then, but we're talking SVC volleyball earlier with Shane Combs. I feel like we're a little, I don't want to say biased, but we're living in SVC country, right? So we understand SVC volleyball is huge. Vinton County's volleyball is really coming up. They've had some good seasons over the past few years. Chillicothe volleyball, they got a new coach out there, Coach Hammond. She's doing some big things out there. So their volleyball is really starting to take a turn there as well. Don't be surprised at the end of the year this year where you start hearing sectional title Vinton County, sectional title Chillicothe, sectional title Westfall. Now the crazy thing is when it comes Chillicothe and Vinton County kind of have a nice advantage because when they go into the tournament, they don't have to worry about seeing each other. When it comes to SVC, for volleyball and basketball, you might as well call the sectional tournament the SVC tournament because outside of Uniota and well, for volleyball, I think Pay Valley's in there, but 9 times out of 10, outside of Union Yoda,
Homer.
they're all in the same. You're just hammering me with that today. But they're all in like
all
the
in the same
same,
bracket,
the same
right?
region, the same division, like you said, Adam, the same bracket. So it's kind of sad to see sometimes. You see Adina. I mean, MVD knows this because he makes the hype tape. Adina and Westfall are playing each other to go to, I think it was the Elite Eight or the Final Four or something like that. If those two teams could play literally anyone else, we have 2 SVC teams in the Final Four. So I just want to say, don't be surprised if you also start seeing Chillicothe, Vinton County. I even think McLean's starting to do some big things. Miami Trace volleyball, as you saw in those highlights with Chillicothe, they're on to something here.
That's something about Vinton County when I was in high school and stuff like that. So when we were in high school, they were I always remember them being pretty decent at volleyball. I just think that they had maybe like a couple of down years and they're just kind of bouncing back from it now. But I always do remember them being pretty good at volleyball.
And that's something that kind of just happens with all school. Like it's almost like as a fan of a sport, right? And I'll just use SVC football as an example. Whenever you watch a team win a gold ball, but like almost all the players are like seniors, you're really happy because, yeah, we just had a good year. But at the same time, you're looking like, man, this next year or two could be rough because you have almost a whole new team coming in, getting a whole new chemistry. It takes a couple years to figure that out. Volleyball, you do really, really good. Then you have a big class graduate. It's not like for every school. The next year, you're just, bam, there we are, restock, reload. It takes
like
a
something
few
that
years.
Blake said, they graduated 17 seniors last year. So I mean, like it's understandable that they would come out and have a little bit of a slower start going, what is it now, 2-2? But
Right.
I mean,
But
granted, they did have a pretty hard schedule. They played Logan Elm,
and then followed it up with Waverly. Like,
yeah,
geez Louise, man.
Yeah.
And like,
and,
when you
not
lose,
just Waverly. Waverly trying to prove, hey, that 1-point loss that we had wasn't our best point. We're going to smack you in the mouth.
Because
and it's going to be the
if you don't lose 17 seniors, say you only lose like maybe 5 seniors instead of 17, like, Just focus on the damn show. But yes.
What happened? Is it an Eagles update? What's up?
I honestly, I don't know. This is what we're trying to tell you. We don't plan these shows, people. We try. I promise we try.
Clay, shut up. I was right in the middle of something really important.
Sorry.
And you know what I was saying about when it's with volleyball, you can't restock because if somebody's a 6-set player, you can't just be.
J.K. Dobbins tore his his Achilles.
Sorry,
He still already had a touchdown, though, before he went down. That all that mattered to me.
He was
Sorry,
on my
Fly
bench
just
this
knocked
week.
my-
I didn't get to
my
use him at all.
I did start him, so at least I got 6. Send it.
Oh,
But,
I have Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry, so it's like, it's okay.
Chub.
We're going to see no mids
Hey, also,
anyways.
I
but
looked it
still.
up. We're allowed to say mollywop. It's just me.
Mollywop.
I could have
What-
sworn
what
it
does
had
it mean?
some other reference, like people used it in a different
Don't say
reference. I'm not going to.
What did you say? What did you say it meant?
Oh, me?
We don't. Oh yeah, what
Not
does
on
it
air.
mean?
I didn't say shit.
Did you find
Oh,
out?
I
what
thought
it
you
means?
just said.
No, it's just a beatdown. Like it's
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a mollywop. Ooh, mollywop. Ooh. So that's we're allowed to say that now. But yeah, man,
I'm not
kind of
allowed
going
to
back
say
to
it.
what we were talking about before. I don't know what the hell just happened. It's hard to just lose 17 seniors and then be like, oh yeah, we're just going to run the table next year. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to lose. And 17 seniors means you lost your whole starting either offense or defense. You know what I mean? I mean,
A lot of leadership. You lost a lot of leadership too. Maybe,
Exactly.
Maybe a couple of those guys didn't get a lot of minutes, but like they're grinding it out every day in practice, being leaders in practice, showing these younger guys like, hey, it's a Monday, 2 weeks before the season starts, but we got to show up. We got to practice, put in the
on
work.
top of losing 17 seniors, you got a brand new coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know it's his first season at Zane Trace and doing my amazing reporting. I don't know if he's ever coached anywhere else. So it could be a first season head coach too. It's
And both of those coaches had a great chess match going. Man.
Oh, they
it
did.
Really
Oh,
did seem
they
like,
did.
oh, you got this, I got this, you got that.
It was like
this.
it was like what you said. Zane Trace has a huge block field goal for a touchdown, and then literally the kick return, Torelli Ward gets it inside the red zone. Yeah. I mean, the literal ensuing kickoff. It was amazing to see.
Another huge pickup by Tony in the fantasy was.
But man, they wouldn't feed him the rock. It was a big pickup. I'm very glad, but man, it could have been a bigger game for him.
Tony, you have to run. You guys have heard it here first. It is getting to election year. Tony's now running for president. So
I will tell you this: I was my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade class president. Went into high school, and I was class president for 3 different high schools.
Oh,
and
my
why
gosh.
can I say that? Because I went to 3.
Ladies and
don't
gentlemen,
ask why.
you right here are looking at the I'm
not
number
even done
number
yet.
of the
Shawnee
presidents.
State University, 2020, I think it was, is when I graduated.
How
I
old
was the
is it?
president of that physical therapy class, and I gave a speech at graduation. I like what this lady's saying. I will start with Chillicothe mayor because I don't want to move. And
And that election's coming up. Make sure you run into Tony Belmonte for mayor of Chillicothe. You heard it here, folks.
I'm hype.
Tony's like, I've been thinking about it. She
I
said it.
want to run.
Now I'm doing it.
Hey, you're gonna have to go back to Anthony though.
What'd you say?
Run so fast.
Oh, yeah, who's
You're
going
gonna
to be
have
your
to go back
vice
to
mayor
Anthony.
/ president? Is it going to be
even
Blake
breathe.
Phillips? I can't even breathe. Well,
Might be the doctor that saves me from this heart attack.
well, you have to breathe because
I
you
still
got to do
have
a
scrubs
show.
on. I came from work.
I know
can
who
save
his head of
myself.
security is gonna be.
Uh-oh.
His head of security is gonna be Zane Brownfield.
Zane Brownfield, Blake Phillips, and the entire Pikes in defense is going to be walking him
Yeah,
around
imagine.
everywhere.
He might
No,
call the
because
Vinton
I'd
County
be dead.
defense
I'd
as
be
well.
like, hey, I just need something from that aisle over there. It's just like clean, boom, pad level.
Everybody gets to the left. Was that punt return to the left? Everybody make a wall on the right. Adam, we're talking about our weekend. I got to influence the young minds of middle schoolers thanks to Coach Combs out there. Got to go out there and talk about some mental health. We got to hit the football game on Friday. I know
All
you had
joking
some things
aside,
going.
Awesome stuff, by the way.
Thank you.
No, absolutely awesome stuff.
I know you didn't get a chance to make it up here this weekend. Not a big deal at all. What was your weekend like? What have you been doing all weekend?
Well, yesterday I lost a little bit of money on college football. So
But I
needed to get
didn't because thank you, Mr. Sanders, for throwing $350 in the Colorado win. Thank you so much. But
I didn't lose all that much money. I said I did watch that Colorado game. I wish Hunter would have been able to take one in for 6 himself.
Me
That would've
too.
won me some
Had
money,
that
but,
bet.
You know,
Had that bet.
I do love what Colorado's doing out there. I absolutely love what they're doing. But other than
Everybody
like
needs to go watch Deion Sanders' Instagram after every Colorado game. It is free entertainment. It is awesome. It
will get you ready for your
It's
it'll
prime
get you
time,
fired
but
up. Absolutely,
it is prime
absolutely.
time.
There's only one prime time, and that's Mr. Deion Sanders, man.
So,
I
guys,
love what he's doing.
We're in football season. We're talking about one of the greatest football players of all time. And I meant to text this guys to you last night and this morning. And again, I'm so awesome and so amazing that I completely forgot to text you guys. So I thought for the draft today, we would just kind of do like our top 5 favorite players. Kind of do a quarterback, running backs, wide receivers. What'd you guys think?
Zoned out. Are we doing NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. College too much. Well, I don't know. Do you want to do guys just do college and NFL, or do you just want to do NFL? Adam, you're the deciding factor here.
We'll do NFL this one. We'll do college next one.
All righty, you heard it here first. So we'll do waiver wire order for the draft. Does it sound right? So it should go Tony, me, you, or is that
I haven't done the
from
scores
last
this
week? From
yet.
last week's.
Oh, from last week? Yeah, this is
Okay.
Tony, you, me.
All righty. So we're gonna do snake. So go Tony, me, and Adam, me, Tony, whatever, and we're gonna do 5 rounds.
And we're doing like one apiece or just favorite.
No, you can just do your favorite. You can just do top 5 favorite players of all time.
Okay.
All righty. And all right. So we will start here with you, Tony. Tony, who's your first pick?
B Dawkins, Brian Dawkins.
Nice. I like that. Now, why do you go there?
Defensive players too, right?
Yeah, and anybody that played in the NFL.
I respect the hell out of him because he didn't curse. He played in a very
I never curse.
violently clean game. And he used to do awesome stuff like spin the ball in the end zone, and he would speak in tongues to it. And he's like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just letting stuff come through me. And it's like, I felt that. It was just an energy. And he'd be like, and he'd like rock back and forth. And I'm like, dude, when I was in high school and I'm just watching like the Weapon X videos, he had a locker next to his locker that just said Weapon X. And it was just like all this dope stuff. So he had the split personality thing. And I like to be that too, because I'm normally a happy person, but I wasn't on the football field.
So I can go 2 ways. So Tony goes Brian Dawkins, plays for the Eagles. I can go 2 ways here.
Oh, Eagles just scored again, Tone. They missed the extra point, though.
So I can take who truly is my favorite and steal him from Adam, and which would be even better. Or
I'll end the call.
well,
No.
everybody, Adam's hanging up because I have to go with Randy Moss. I have to go Randy Moss here. Randy Moss is literally the whole reason I started getting into the NFL.
So the thing is that's like young.
Did you
Buck
wear?
that's
Did you
Troy
wear?
Vincent.
Did you play for the Vikings when you were in high school? Wear an '84 jersey?
So
No.
what I do have is
No, the
proof
84
of me
jersey was
being
taken.
Like
I
5.
was
I have
super
a white
bummed.
turtleneck, and I had the sand knit Randy Moss jersey. Like a big fan. I had the poster in my room. But again, Doc's still my
That's
number
what,
one.
dude.
But
You went to the Scholastic Book Fair. The first place I went was the poster section. And I said, "Where's Randy Moss?"
Yeah.
Like, I would get the Sports Illustrated thing, and I'm like, "Where's the receiving records?" There's Randy. I get Madden. First thing I'm doing, give me Randy Moss. I'm trading for him. Randy Moss was a generational talent.
Greatest receiver of all time, and if you don't believe that, I'm taking your pick from you.
No, I'm with you. I think Randy Moss is 100% the greatest receiver of all time.
He's not even top 15 in receptions, and yet he is still top 5 in receiving touchdowns, receiving yards, and like
The
I'm
only
pretty sure
thing
like
that
yards
he's
per
missing
carry.
is a
Like,
Super Bowl, but as a wide receiver, you cannot pin that on him because you can only do so. You have to get the ball thrown to you. You know what I mean? Like,
so there's red peppers, orange peppers, and then there's Culpeppers. None of them win Super Bowls. Okay?
that was freaking awesome.
Dante Culpepper
I've never
was
heard
a
that.
chunky.
I've
I
never heard
I dislike that.
I
dislike
thought
that.
it was awesome. I like Dante Culpepper, but that was so good.
I dislike that
Alrighty, so then we
very
go
much as a
Brian
Vikings fan.
Dawkins, number 1 pick, Randy Moss. And the only reason I go Randy Moss because I knew I was getting past Adam, and I knew my next pick would.
It's
so,
fair. I swear to God, he'd be 2 for me.
Yeah.
He would definitely be number 1 non-Eagle.
So Randy Moss, if you're watching this, because we know you're not, come on the show and tell us what we're right. Adam, who's your first 2 picks?
No, it's gonna take me a minute.
What do you call it? Rand University.
Dude, that was one of the greatest 30 for 30s I've ever seen in my entire life. Because when I watched the,
Man, I could have written that whole 30 for 30.
dude, when I looked, because I didn't know a whole lot about Randy's in college. I know he went to Marshall because he didn't go to a lot of other schools. But until that 30 for 30, I kind of like didn't know the whole story. So I saw
Oh,
Randy.
you didn't even know he was going to your favorite school all
What about
time
him playing
college?
KG AAU ball and being like, can't play basketball?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
on
KG
the
just
same
worked
team
him,
as,
and he's like, man, I'm really good at football, and I just got my ass kicked. Never again.
What's that
On the
football?
same
Here I
team as
go.
Jason Williams, and he still won Mr. Basketball for West Virginia. With Jason Williams, the NBA
Yes.
player, on his team, he still won Mr. Basketball for the entire state.
Insane.
Kinda crazy.
Like
And
I
think
said,
that's when KG was a high schooler and worked him, and that's
Yeah.
when he was just like, I think I made my choice.
yeah, I think I made my choice. So Adam, again, we got Brian Dawkins of the Eagles going to Tony number 1. We have Randy Moss going to me number 2. Adam, who you going with your first 2?
I don't even really like anybody like that. I mean, I honestly, I don't have anybody to pick.
Really?
I guess. I mean, yeah, no, like that's. I can't. I don't know. I got like literally Randy is my guy.
Well, you had to pick 5 people from the beginning, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was gonna be Randy Moss and then a slew of other Vikings.
Well, it's the other
Where's slew
Vikings.
of the other Vikings? 'Cause I
It's
can
probably
think
gonna
of
have to
one
be
who has
Adrian. I'll start off with Adrian Peterson. Probably
Great
start off
pick.
with him.
Great pick.
So I guess I can't say it yet.
All right. And then who you going number 2? Is it the Peppa Pig?
Oh no.
I know it's got to be Chris Carter. You're a huge Ohio State guy.
Former Eagle Chris
No.
Carter. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, we picked him up on 14-day waiver wires because y'all didn't know what to do with him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna ball out for the Vikings."
No, I copped a charge.
He did.
All right. Number 2, Adam, who you going with? Anybody?
I'm thinking. Don't rush me.
Well, I'm rushing
Probably
you.
Shannon Sharp. Probably Shannon
Nice.
Sharp.
Oh, I love that.
Nice. That is a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
pick.
yeah.
Shannon Sharp. All righty. So Adam comes out of the gate with Adrian Peterson and Shannon Sharp. That's 2 huge pickups. Mine is a literal player that's playing right now. I feel like he is it's going to be a strong statement, but I feel like he's my era of Jim Brown. It's Nick Chubb all day, every day. Give me Nick Chubb. He's my favorite player now. He'll probably be my favorite player going afterwards. Obviously, again, behind Randy Moss, number 1 player of all time. So I'll go with Randy Moss and Nick Chubb. Tony, who's your number 2?
So I was trying to decide if I wanted to go away from the Eagles for a second because I'm dead serious. It would just be 5 birds.
Yeah.
But I guess
I'll tell you one thing. I'm taking a bird, but it probably won't be a bird you'll take.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go. I have to go with John Elway, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like.
You know who
I
played
don't
with John
necessarily
Elway?
like him that.
Aaron
But the one thing with him is he was the first Super Bowl I remember. I was 6, so it's like I remember that Packers Broncos game. It was a great game. Favre was in it. So like I just grew to like him. I got the poster in my room that year, and it didn't leave until I went to college, and it was like faded all around and stuff. So I don't know. It's like I looked up at him before I went to bed for a lot of years. I'm not the biggest fan of him now necessarily, but
because he doesn't know how to manage the
exactly
Broncos.
so,
all right, so you got Brian Dawkins, you got John Elway. You going with another bird here for your second pick?
I would be remiss, and I don't know if many people know who he is, but Troy Vincent. He's
okay.
A player that I always loved, and even before I played cornerback, I loved him. The jersey that I wear every Sunday is Troy Vincent.
Hell yeah.
Now, I will say this: if Clay's about to pick a bird here, it just kind of takes away from Randy being number 1 because I would never pick this guy because everybody tries to say he's better than Randy, and he is 100% not better than Randy.
Oh, no, it's not a wide receiver. I know who you're thinking of.
Okay.
I love T.O. T.O. was an amazing show, but I don't know if I can put him in top 5 favorite players of all time.
And that's kind of my thing. He's like, he didn't affect me enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love it. He's the reason we got to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. He's a great player. Great player. Probably 3rd best wide receiver of all time. Won't make my list because Randy's my guy.
Yeah. So you have Brian Dawkins, you got John Elway, you got Troy. Is it Vincent or Vincent?
Vincent. Yeah,
Vincent,
he's actually
okay.
the president of the Players Association right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Alrighty. I have Randy Moss, I have Nick Chubb, and then with this next guy, no brainer for me. I grew up watching the Colts just because my dad was a huge Colts fan. It's Peyton Manning. I always enjoyed watching Peyton Manning play chess when the defense was playing checkers. You know what I mean? The defense would try and make a quick change thinking they threw him off last second, and then good old Omaha comes in here, and here we go, breaking records.
Him versus Ray Lewis was one of the best things that you could ever see.
Because it was,
like 16 audibles.
It literally made me feel like olden times whenever, like, Revolutionary War generals were going after each other. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if he's definitely top 3 all time, I think, for me. I just don't know if I can put Peyton number 1. I think he's like I think he's number 1, honestly, when it comes to the brains and just like pure talent and everything like that. But
football IQ.
I feel in football IQ, but I feel like if you go best ever, you have to take everything into account, and championships, I think, too, can count. When he only has 2, I feel like, again, he has 2 that definitely solidifies him to me in the top 3.
The one is kind of given to him. He even said after they won that Super Bowl that I want to thank my defense. I thank these guys for bringing me here because that's when
Peyton basically helped win that Super Bowl by just not making mistakes.
Well, Brock was so bad, they literally said, Peyton, don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And he literally, I loved that he did it too. He wasn't like, I'm retiring after this, make it about me. He's literally like, shut up, stop acting like I played well.
Yeah.
They won that Super Bowl. I didn't throw a pick.
Peyton is a guy that after he retired kind of made me like him even more than I already did because of what you said. Like, people are like, you were so awesome, we did this, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, or like people tell him like how great he was, and he's like, my rookie year I had 20 interceptions. Dude.
I broke the record
for most interceptions. He's like, that's
what I like about Peyton Manning is just like how I guess real he is, I guess, or how much you get to see of him outside of football, like all the commercials he's done, like the Manning cast with him and
Manning
Eli.
Cast is pretty good.
Dude, you know what the Manning cast has done for me, and I'm going to say it just because he won't be picked. Eli Manning is freaking hilarious,
Dude,
dude.
he trolls
Yeah,
him
no,
so
absolutely.
well.
It is
Have
so
you seen him go
awesome.
to Penn State? Have you seen
Yes,
him go to Penn
yeah,
State?
when he
as-
goes, yeah, he
Cliff
goes
Speed,
undercover.
Cliff
Yes. Can I pick
Yeah,
Chad
Chad,
Powers
that's what it's
instead,
called.
actually? But yeah, so
Chad's fast. Chad speed. Chad fast. Chad fast.
So
The whole time
going
he's
over here,
running,
Tony goes Brian Dawkins, John Elway, Troy Vincent. I go Randy Moss, Nick Chubb, Peyton Manning. Adam goes Adrian Peterson and Shannon Sharp. I know I said 5. Do you guys want to keep it short and just do 4? And Adam, you kind of round it up here? Or do you want to go 5?
I said we go 5.
All right. So Adam, where are your 2 here?
My 2 here are going to be 2 defensive guys. We're going to have obviously Mr. Primetime
Prime time.
as the number 3 spot, and then my other defensive guy is going to be Ray Lewis.
Nice pick.
Like we're always every Friday that I'm up there, I'm always talking about how I love the defensive games, the 3 yards in a cloud of dust, the smash mouth football, so to speak. Yeah. I love it when one man just mollywops another man, whether it's offensively or defensively. So I don't know. And then obviously Prime is just so exciting. Period. So it's, I mean.
2 no-brainer picks there, if I do say so myself. So Adam team comes to Adrian Peterson, Shannon Sharp, Primetime, and Ray Lewis. Killer team.
Oh yeah, fun fact about you to piggyback off of Randy Moss stuff earlier. When Randy Moss was enrolled at Florida State after he got kicked out of Notre Dame, he actually joined the track team. The only person ever beat him in a 40 time was Deion Sanders, beat him by like 0.2 of a second. And then weirdly enough, in the 100-yard dash or the 100-yard, like the 100-meter, he almost broke Florida's state record, like not state record, Florida State's school record for fastest 100-meter dash. Again, missed it by 0.2 of a second, the same amount that he lost to Deion Sanders by.
Freaking Moss, everybody. Again, greatest wide
got
receiver
a million
of all time.
Randy Moss stats, man.
But so
favorite, love him.
I have Randy Moss, Nick Chubb, and Peyton Manning. I was trying to figure out if I should go defense or stick to the offensive side. I have so many people in my head for defense. I think I just want some more time to think about that. So whenever we come back here, I'm gonna pick the Eagles player that I was talking about, and this might be one. I don't know what your thoughts will be about it. I think this might be a little shocking. Brian Westbrook.
Oh my God! What did he go to Paint Valley?
No,
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ, man.
What did Brian Westbrook do?
I'm telling you right now, if you're talking about the Randy Moss stats, you're talking about Brian Westbrook. You're talking about something very near dear to my heart. The only reason that he's not on this list yet is because I played defense and I wasn't allowed to like offense.
I can't sit here and tell you everything there is to know about Brian Westbrook, but just the way he played, man, and obviously when I was growing up, those Eagles teams.
Like a good comparison in the league today.
Because there's not, though. I think that's why I liked him so much, man.
Like when you say the guys that can rush and receive, the difference with him is when you talk about like a Marshall Faulk, there was like elite agility and things. With Brian Westbrook, he literally was 50-50.
Yeah.
He was not better at one or the other. He was literally perfect at both. Had enough meat on him, but was still short. Came out of Villanova University. Andy Reid actually went down there and just saw him stand out on tape and said, "That's my guy."
It's kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong here. I kind of almost call it like a Kadarius Toney or Isaiah Pacheco. Maybe not skill wise, but the way Andy Reid takes.
I'm a
him.
Florida
I'm about
fan,
to
but
punch
after
you in the
after that
This is what
Thursday
I-
night
After what
game,
just happened,
Hold
the
on.
dude literally,
after
I
that,
saw
as
a
a
meme
Florida
that
fan,
said
after that
Chubbs from
Thursday
Happy.
night game,
Hold
that's
on.
an insult. That is an
The
insult.
reason that I say that is because Brian Westbrook, in my opinion, could have went to 31 different NFL teams and not been Brian Westbrook. He goes to the Eagles with Andy Reid, and Andy Reid takes Brian Westbrook, I feel like, to the next level.
I see what you're saying. Tony just came off that crap.
Because Kadarius Toney was at the Giants, was freaking terrible. And then he goes to, except for last week, he goes to the Chiefs last year and completely resurrects his career. That's kind of where I was going with that. So I go Randy Moss, Nick Chubb.
Tony's
Peyton
injury
Manning.
prone a lot too, so I mean, it's not like he's
Right.
just kind of. I as a Florida guy, I want him to do good. I just don't think he's going to. I just don't think he's going to.
He's not. He's on
Let's
my
go,
fantasy
DK
team, and he's dead
Metcalf
to me.
catching a touchdown.
So, Tony, you have Brian Hawkins, John Elway, and Troy Vincent. You're going to finish out your draft here. Who are your 2 picks? Good pick.
I think I just had Breece Hall. I feel like he is a poor man's version of Brian Westbrook.
That's
there's
way
like
better
one
than
person
Kadarius
in
Toney,
the
I'll
league
tell you
where it's
that.
like that.
Yeah.
I had to think freaking hard the whole time.
That's what I told you.
I think it's him, but I still feel like Westbrook was clearly a better player. But for my 2 players, I'd like to go outside again. You actually talked about a guy in Luke Kuechly, who I really, really enjoyed watching playing. I enjoyed him at Boston College. I got to do a couple visits when I was picking what college I wanted to go to, and I actually got to go up to BC. So I kind of already had a liking of him before, he made it to the league and became
kind
a
of
Hall
like
of Famer and retired early like a genius.
Yeah.
Came in. I have done 10 full seasons of elite football. I
I'm
have
done.
a Hall of Fame resume. What more do I need here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we're talking about Ray Lewis. He's Ray Lewis-esque, where, like, he's playing chess while the offense is playing checkers. So you got Brian Dawkins, you got John Elway, you got Troy Vincent, you got Luke Kuechly. Who's your final pick there, Tony?
Why are you even asking me this question?
Because I can't read your
Oh,
mind.
dude.
I know it's a bird.
No, it's not.
No.
Whoa.
He's a San Francisco 49er, right, bud? Used to play for the Patriots. Played alongside
Garrett Harris!
Let's go, baby!
Let's
Give me
go,
every
Tony.
freaking
Act like
list.
you
He
know.
will be on it if you let me.
I'm an idiot. I
No,
definitely knew that was
Clay,
coming.
Yeah.
All righty. So
I'm sitting
Tony-
here and I was like, I was going to do it first, and I'm like, hold. Oh, Garrett Barrett.
So we got Brian Dawkins, John Elway, Troy Vincent, Luke Kuechly, and
Aaron Varys.
going out there for Tony. I got Randy Moss, Nick Chubb, Peyton Manning, Brian Westbrook.
And Paint Valley. No, I'm just doing it today. I promise. I'll stop giving you
no,
shit,
I'm
but-
picking Peyton Valley. They're my favorite.
Favorite NFL player, Paint Valley.
My favorite player in the NFL right now is Carson Free. So I'll keep this kind of short and sweet. We're talking about defensive players, and I'm talking about growing up watching the Colts. Dwight Freeney.
I
Dude.
thought you were going to say Pat McAfee.
Absolutely.
No, I love Pat McAfee, and I almost want to say Bob Sanders because talking about putting people 6 feet under with one hit, I wanted to go with him. But Dwight Freeney, man, he was somebody that could not be stopped. So yeah, Dwight Freeney's who I'm going to go with to wrap up my team. Adam, you got one more pick. Who you going with here?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with defensive because it just does not feel right to pick anybody offensively. I should have just went all defense this whole time, but I probably had to go to the Vikings. One of my absolute favorites, number 69, retires, rides off in a sunset on a white stallion.
Thank you.
Jared Allen.
Yes, he is
Jared Allen.
behind Randy Moss, my second favorite Viking of all
Do you
time.
know who mine is? Is John Randall.
Really?
Dude, so he wasn't allowed to try out for the Vikings undrafted because he didn't weigh enough. He literally hung weights from his body, went in, did the weigh-in, and then came out, was a walk-on, and had a Hall of Fame career.
Dude, like
Sorry.
Adam just said.
Also, honorable mention, Brock Lesnar, just because.
Oh yeah, because it's Brock Lesnar and he's gonna keep
Just
going.
because.
Terry
Honorable
Crews.
mention.
Yeah, Terry Crews. What up, Rock?
Yeah.
Hey, we got
He
an
plays for
NFL
the
player
Rams.
right here, baby.
Oh, well, no,
No,
he
Miami.
haven't played in the NFL.
College.
He
Have you
played
guys
in
not
Miami
seen
to
Ballers?
you and then got hurt.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. I
So-
showed you ballers.
I know. That's
showed
why I was
you
surprised that you weren't on that. So Adam has a great team. He ends it with Jared Allen. A great pick.
Real quick, Adam, they just uploaded the Vinton County highlights for this week. It's an hour and a half long.
The highlights.
I'm kidding. I just kind of made it up. But I wanted it just because they scored some.
Alrighty, so we finished the draft there. Tony gets Brian Dawkins, John Elway, Troy
God
Vincent,
is
Luke
so
Kuechly,
good,
Garrett
dude.
Varys. I get Randy Moss, Nick Chubb, Peyton Manning, Brian Westbrook, Dwight Freeney. And Adam gets Adrian Peterson, Shannon Sharp, Primetime, Ray Lewis, and Jared Allen. Adam,
I feel like Shannon Sharp is the closest you can get to prime time without having
being
prime
time.
time.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming into this terrible show every single Sunday. We'll probably be mixing up our schedule a little bit, so check us out on our Instas. If on Instagram at Ride the Wave Show. Check us out on Twitter, Ride the Wave 2023. I've been saying Ride the Wave Show 2023. There's no show in the at. So shout out to me for sucking as a host. And then find us on Facebook at Just Ride the Wave Show.
No wonder we haven't been getting followers on that platform.
Yeah. Blame those. See how it is. Again, thank you to Coach Combs for coming in, dropping the knowledge. We got a few segments for volleyball coming up to help people kind of learn volleyball since we don't know volleyball either. So kind of learn as we go along with you guys. Huge shout out to Blake Phillips for taking time from running away from the police on those murder charges for the
Actually,
super
real
hard
quick,
hits.
if there's anybody out there, if you're good at volleyball, you don't even have
Yes.
to be good. If you're interested in helping us learn more, because we don't volleyball good, we would love you to come out.
Yeah, we don't know the golf.
We're going to get a show together. We'd like to almost do like a volleyball for dummies type deal where we can kind of sit down, ask you really stupid questions. You're allowed to laugh at us and our stupid questions.
We laugh at ourselves.
But if you feel like that's something you're interested in, just getting the responses that we've had and having people reach out to us about volleyball,
Yes.
please help us be better. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't
Shout
know
out to
I
all
don't
the
know what the
athletes.
hell a kill is, but it sounds cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
dude,
sounds like a few of these volleyball players need locked up because they're killing people.
Yeah.
27
72 kills. I'm like, what are you
27
playing?
kills? Oh my
No, it
gosh.
was 72.
Yeah.
I added up hers.
Jeez Louise.
Like, what is this, Call of Duty? Chill.
Yeah. So again, and shout out to all the athletes that sent us highlights and everything to help out with the show this week. We really, really appreciate that. So if you're on a team, any team in the SVC, the FAC, Vinton County, or Waverly on soccer, volleyball, cross country, football, any of those, send us your highlights so we can get them on.
If you're a school in Kentucky, send us your highlights.
Hell yeah, we'll talk
maybe if
about
it's cool
you.
enough.
We
Yeah.
just we want you to help you guys get recognized. Again, we just think that the kids around here, the coaches around here, even the fans around here, there's just too much greatness going on here, not to be talked about, not to be recognized. So again, thank you guys. Thank you to our fans for wanting to tune into this. It's awesome. We really couldn't do this without you guys coming for the support. We have been honestly blown away.
Dude, you have brought us close to tears multiple times. This is not an exaggeration either. Like, we appreciate every thank you, every good job. Cy Stu reaching out.
Yeah.
Much love to you, buddy. It's like just some of the stuff you guys are saying, we feel like we don't deserve. It's
Yeah.
easy for us to take. It's sorry if our responses suck because we're losers, but we really do appreciate it.
But again, make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe.
Smash and subscribe that like button down there.
And,
heart button or whatever.
Thank you again for tuning in on every single Sunday. Check us out on our socials. Peace out, Girl Scout. Go Dogs! Go Birds.
Go Vikings. Go Vikings. If you agree, don't say nothing. They can't hear me because the mic's off.